All right, so this evening we are going to worm the goats. I'm going with the Australian method of running 3 combo wormers at one time to get rid of the most worms, cut down on resistance. So what I have is some Sidectin, I have some Valbazen, and then here I have some Prohibit. Now I mixed this down. I didn't make the whole packet. So what it boils down to for a goat, it's just under 3 grams per fluid ounce, and then it's 1 cc per 25 pounds. And so I have a syringe made up with 2 cc's, since we have 2 goats, and they're both about 25 pounds. I have another one over here with this one is a Sidectin. This one is 4.5 milliliters per goat, and then the other one over here is the Valbazen, and that's another 1 centimeter per goat because they're both 25 pounds. So I'm fixing to get some milk, and we're going to go over and get these goats wormed and see how they do, because they have really big bellies. They've been here for a couple months already, and they've grown a little bit, but not really growing that much. The Famacha is showing that they have a really big parasite load, so we're going to try to get them cleaned up. Hopefully they don't have any adverse reactions to this, and we can get them growing on the right track again. All right, well, as you can tell, I wasn't able to get any film of us worming the goats. My father-in-law came and helped me out, held the goats. I just gave them the shots back to back, or the wormer. They're not really shots because they're drenches, they go in the mouth. You just got to make sure you get it on their tongue, make sure they're biting on it so it goes down the right tube, and everything's golden from there. Now, to explain a little bit more, the most complicated is the Prohibit. That one you have to mix up. You can either mix a whole packet if you're going to do a whole bunch of goats or sheep or cattle at one time. That's the best way to do it. The package is only like 22, 25 bucks, so it's not super expensive compared to the other ones. So if you're going to do it like that for 1 or 2 runs, it's not too bad. I think it stores for a couple months, maybe 3 months before it goes bad. So if you have a lot of animals to do, that's not a bad way to do it like that. If you're doing like I was doing, where I'm just doing 2 animals, you can break it down. Like I said, it takes just under, it's like 2.96 grams to make up 1 ounce. And then out of that ounce, it's 2 cc's per 50 pounds. That 2 cc's is like 0.67 something of an ounce. And so a cc, if you're using drench syringes, is the same thing as a milliliter. So if it's 2 cc's, it's going to be 2 milliliters. Since the goats are real small, they're only about 20-25 pounds. I only needed 1 cc per goat, so it was real easy to do. So I just mixed up an ounce in a cup with just under 3 grams, gave them their dose along with the other ones, so they got 3 doses back to back. According to the studies they've done, basically what happens, how Americans do it usually is we use 1 wormer for a round by itself, or maybe 2 rounds until we see it become ineffective, and then we switch to a different wormer. Or people just have a standard rotation where they do 1 wormer and then the next wormer the next time, and the next wormer the 3rd time. But what happens is your parasites start to build resistance, so you might have 10% that are resistance to that 1 wormer, and then if you keep worming, then all of a sudden it's 20%, and so you have 20% of worms that are resistant to it. Then you switch wormers, then 10% of those are resistant to the next wormer, and it starts building to where before too long your wormers are completely ineffective, or only like 50%, something like that. So what the Australians and New Zealanders have been practicing, and what they have seen, is that if they give a combo of 2, 3, they actually have more combinations that they can use than we have on the US market. Then they can knock out more at a time. So basically the mathematical way to do it is, if say Valbazen will knock out all but 10% of the worms that are resistant to it, and then you put the sidectin on top of that. They knock out all but 10%. So you have the 10%, and then only 10% of that 10% survive, so that's 1%. And then the last one that you run, the prohibit, knocks out all but another 10%. And so basically you get left with 0.1% they're actually resistant and left in your animal, instead of having a whole 10% or 20% or 30%, whatever, that builds up over time. And so you're worming more in the long run, and then you're building up more resistance. So with the combo, as long as you're doing your FAMACHA and you're only worming whenever you need to, then your animals are able to build resistance. You're knocking out more of the resistant parasites. They have a less worm load, so they need less wormer overall, and your herd becomes healthier. So you can start kind of weaning away from the wormers over time as your herd builds up that resistance. So that's the route that I'm going to take with these two little goats, since we're trying to get them going. And then the other goats that I have, I'll follow the same way. They'll only be wormed as needed, and whenever they do get wormed, it will be in a combo. And then if by chance my sheep need to get wormed, I'll follow the same practice for them. So that's what we have for this video, and look forward to seeing you next time.